Stephen, back from the tour, the England Lions tour of India, how did it go?
Yeah, it was magnificent. I loved every second of it. Obviously, probably a little bit surprised to get the call when I did, sort of middle of January, and I was just driving into the petrol station at Asda, and James Taylor called me. I actually thought he was calling me at the time because we missed a coffee date the week before, and I thought we were just going to catch up about that. But yeah, I was obviously delighted when he gave me the news that I was asked to go out initially for the one-day series to play for the Lions. Yeah, and I loved every second of it.
Good for your game to go out there. Conditions must have been a little bit alien to what you're used to.
Yeah, it was tough. Like they were an excellent side, a lot of international experience and a lot of international caps between the Indian players. But yeah, it was good to obviously learn in those conditions and what it takes to play at that standard. And I think that they showed us as a team, how to soak up pressure and how to play on them sort of wickets and get results. You
managed to keep the scoring rate down quite successfully with the ball. What was the secret to doing that?
Yeah, I'm not sure really. I just kept it really simple. I think I'm a bit older than most of the lads on that. I got a bit of stick for being the oldest. Fossil was my nickname on most of that tour. So, but yeah, I just kept things really simple. I've done things that have worked for me over the last sort of 6, 7, 8 seasons here at Notts, and luckily it worked over there.
You had a few Notts teammates out there. What did you make of their performances?
Yeah, they all did really well. Zach Chappell was probably the standout on the tour. From he wasn't picked in the initial squad, and then I think an injury to Craig Overton gave him his opportunity. But speaking to Andy Flower about how he went in particular was that in 4 or 5 weeks the strides that he made and what he learnt and improved on was brilliant. Duckett was probably the best batsman, getting an 18 or 50 in the Test matches, and won us the only one-day game that we won. I think we was only chasing about 109 or something, and he got 17 not out. Played really well. And Matt Carter on debut, 1 for 22, I think, off his 10 overs. Did really well, and then had a couple of tough games. So I think he's learnt a lot from it, how the Indians play spin. But all 3 of them did really well, and hopefully that can push him on to a good season for Notts.
You're back to finish the rest of pre-season now. What's that got in store between now and when it starts in April?
Yeah, well, we've got this week off half term, and then we've got a few days next week at Loughborough before 7 of us bowlers go off to the bowling camp in Pretoria. So we fly there 3rd of March, and then the rest of the squad meet us, I think, on the 12th. And then we go down to Potchefstroom, where we've got a few games and training sessions booked in. So yeah, that's obviously going to be a huge part of our pre-season, getting ready to come back here in April and face Yorkshire in that first game.
You're happy with the balance of that, a bit of time in South Africa with sun on your backs, and then you get to play a game in English conditions against Northamptonshire?
Yeah, it's obviously always a nice perk of the job to go and see a bit of the world and get some sun on our backs, definitely. But more important than that, it's important that when we come back here, even in that warm-up game against Northampton, that we hit the ground running, and we've done all we can. There's no stone unturned, and we've really done everything in this pre-season that gives us the best chance of competing on all 3 formats going into the 19 season.
It's your second season as captain. What did you learn from year 1?
That's a good question. A lot, I think. I think there's a lot of things that now I'm ready and prepared for that I probably didn't see coming. Off-field stuff, some on-field stuff, dealing with certain situations that you don't do when you're not captain. But yeah, I think I said to you in numerous interviews that the last 6 weeks, they weren't a struggle, but I found it mentally really draining, having a lot of things to think about, winning matches, staying in the division, my own performances, other players' injuries, could we play certain people who had a little niggle or couldn't we, or giving Lyndon James debuts, things like that creep in towards the end of the season. But I think we've got a more rounded squad now. We've got more depth in the bowling department, definitely. We've signed real quality in Clark, Slater, Duckett and Chappell. Coghlan coming back for his first season. I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks we can announce an overseas player, which hopefully will be exciting for the club. But yeah, from a captaincy point of view, I think that I can learn a lot from last season that will help me and the team going forward into this season.
How have you found it adjusting to making the big calls, the calls that sometimes leave teammates disappointed? Yeah,
I think that's one of the things that people don't realise when, it's all great saying that you want to be captain, but then when it comes to making real crunch decisions, it's tough work and it's hard, especially when, you know, I'm really close to a few of the lads, and I've had to separate that on numerous occasions. And you know, to be fair to the team and the lads, and especially my close mates who I'm closer to outside of cricket, that you know, they've been all brilliant with me, and they understand that it's not an easy thing, and only 11 can take the field. And you know, with the squad this year, we're going to have some really difficult decisions, but I'd rather that than, you know, it be an easy 11 to pick and picking the same 11 week in, week out.
Versatility's always been part of what you offer. You've batted up and down the order, bowled at different times, and you always said that as long as you were playing, you weren't bothered where you batted. But now you're making that decision. That must be a slightly different dynamic for you.
Yeah, it's obviously different, but I'm still not bothered. It doesn't really faze me. I'll just fit in. If I need to open, I'll open. If I need to bat 3 or 5 or wherever, you know, I just want Notts to have the strongest 11 possible in whatever order on the field in every game, and you know, that's what I'll be stressing to the players when we get out to South Africa, probably when we have a chance as a squad to sit down, and then coming back, you know, just before going into that Cambridge game where we'll hopefully have a fully fit squad to select from. That, you know, I just want to make decisions that help this club win games of cricket and hopefully challenge for trophies.
Do you take losing games even more personally as captain? Does it hurt you even more? Not really, no, because every decision I make, I believe is in the best interest for this club moving forward. You know, one thing, when you asked before about what have I learned, I'll probably not take games home with me, if that makes sense. So, you know, I probably stewed over games for 2 or 3 days at home in my home life that, you know, it's not healthy for me or go in my cricket or away from cricket. So I think, you know, putting cricket out of my head when I can, obviously it's always in my head. I'm speaking to Pete and Francie every day or most days. But, you know, when I get away from it, if we've got a couple of days off, try and sort of forget about cricket for a little bit in the right way, which will enable me to have more energy when I come back to work. Did you even manage to keep yourself off the live scorecards of what's happening on
Absolutely not. No, I'm a bit of a badger like that. So, especially at the end of the season when we needed every point we could. But little things like that, you know, we joke about it, but yeah, little things like getting away from, you know, I check the scorecards as well because I've got a lot of mates in other counties that, you know, I want to see do well. But yeah, I think that's one thing that I'll take moving forward is try and sort of put all my energy when we're at work, and then when we're away from it, try and sort of park it for a little bit.
Clearly, in competitive professional sport, you can't always promise results, but how will this team be going about their cricket in 2019?
Well, you know, I hope, and I think I've said numerous times, we'll start the season believing we can win all 3 trophies, because I genuinely believe we've got a squad who could compete on all 3 accounts. But no, like you said, I think Pete says all the time, we can't guarantee that we'll win every game. We will lose games. I'm sure we will at certain points this season. But you know, we had a meeting at the beginning of the season before the season in October, which we'd never done before, because that was the only time that we had most of the squad together. And we said in that meeting that whatever we do, whether it be running MAS out here in the middle of November, or whether it's, you know, challenging for a trophy, whatever we do, fitness training, cricket, anything, that we will give 100% to. And you know, I can promise our members and supporters that we're doing everything we can to be successful this season with the exciting squad that we've got. You know, and I believe that, you know, the next 2 or 3 years for Notts will be an exciting one.
A lot's made in cricket of the dynamic and the relationship between captain and head coach. How's that between you and Peter Moore? Yeah,
very healthy and strong. We speak, you know, nearly every day, especially in the summer. He gave me, you know, we didn't speak too much while I've been away with the Lions, but we did speak about Notts stuff. I've got a meeting with him on Thursday, I think, over a coffee. So, but yeah, we spend quite a bit of time together. You know, we go around for dinner or have a glass of wine, and we chat about other things, not just cricket with Notts, other things in world cricket. Yeah, and I think we've got a really healthy relationship.
And what are the lines in terms of who decides what, who decides the batting order? Clearly it's yourself out there on the field. Who dominates the team talk before the team comes out? I
think it's just a real balance. We have discussions, and you know, more often than not we're on the same wavelength anyway, so I think it takes care of itself. But you know, I'd like to think, and I got told really young, that you know, a captain shouldn't really go on the field with an 11 that he's not happy with. So you know, I fully take responsibility when things go wrong, that you know, it comes back to me, and that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. But I think that, you know, when things do go wrong and I get blamed, I think that should be my decision, what I've taken on the field. But we obviously, you know, team selection's hard, very hard, especially with the squad that we've got, and it will be even harder this season. So we know that we're going to upset a few people, and we know that there's going to be disappointments. But we both have, you know, Nottinghamshire winning trophies and winning games at the forefront of our mind, and that's how we make decisions.
To all the things we've just been talking about put together, do you think this is an exciting time for Nottinghamshire supporters?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, you know, we've got a chance now to build. We've got a young squad, young exciting signings that we've made with lads coming through who are still improving. You know, Blatherwick's just gone to the staff. Lyndon James made his debut last year. We've got other people, you know, pushing from the younger age to keep us old lads on our toes, I think. And I think the next, so I said 2 to 3 years, but I do genuinely believe the next 5 to 10 years for this club, you know, I think that some people could see something really special.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Crofty. Thanks, mate.